Before you begin to order materials using Polaris Acquisitions, there are a number of startup tasks that you need to complete. This video will review how to create a fiscal year and its corresponding funds and subfunds. A fiscal year record represents an organization's financial year and budget. A fiscal year is comprised of fund records. Funds represent dollar amounts allocated to specific collections or types of purchases. Once money is allocated to a fiscal year and its funds, Polaris will track encumbrances and expenditures broken down by each fund. To create a new fiscal year record, open the File menu and select New, or click the New icon from the Polaris shortcut bar. From the New Objects dialog box, select Fiscal Year from the list and click OK. In the fiscal year work form that opens, enter in the name for your fiscal year. Next, enter the start and end dates for the fiscal year in the relevant boxes. Select your library from the Owner box, and if you'd like, type a description of the fiscal year in the Notes field. Last, click the Save icon to save your fiscal year record. Once you've created your new fiscal year, you'll want to set up your funds and subfunds. Libraries structure their funds very differently, and it's important to properly map out your fund structure prior to performing any transactions in the database. A fund cannot be deleted after money has been allocated, encumbered, or expended to it until the next fiscal year rollover. Let's review a sample fund structure. In this example, there's an umbrella general fund set up to allow the library to monitor total encumbrances, expenditures, and free balances across all library funds. Underneath this general fund are three subfunds: acquisition costs, multimedia, and print. Now, underneath each of those are additional subfunds that break their parent fund down into more specific purchasing areas. For example, multimedia is broken down into subfunds representing audience and format, such as adult DVDs and Blu-rays. The library can then view the total amount allocated, encumbered, expended, and remaining for each subfund and for each parent fund. Let's walk through adding a new fund to your fiscal year. From the fiscal year record, open the Tools menu and click Create Fund. In the New Fund Record screen, complete the fields in bold. The name of the fund or its alternative name are displayed in the fund list on various acquisitions work forms, such as invoice and purchase orders. The alternative name can be a short or abbreviated form of the working name, the fund's corresponding budget code, or whatever works best for your library. To allow transfers of money from this fund to other funds, leave the Transfers box checked. Next to Transfer, make sure the correct fiscal year remains selected. Next, select the fund type. Regular funds typically come from the library's normal fiscal year budget. The donation type can be used for gifts, grants, endowments, and donations. Deposit funds can be set up to track accounts where a certain amount of money has been deposited with a supplier in advance. If you do not want the fund to display in list of funds in purchase orders or invoices, clear the display checkbox. Next, make sure the owner of the fund lists your library. Lastly, click Save and then repeat to add additional funds. If you still have questions after completing the lesson, email us at help@ccslib.org.